it could be used against me. Sometimes, my finger hovers over the backspace key, ready to let the cursor chase these words away into nothingness. But always in that moment, just before I give in to that compulsion, I think of Audrey again, and I hesitate. It was her story first, before I made it mine. When you came seeking answers, I didn't know what to say, because the truth is not an easy thing. I don't even know if I can tell the right and the wrong of it anymore. Every day, more women are speaking up, and, as they do, my silence weighs more heavily on me. There have been so many lies that telling the truth now feels like an act of bravery, a leap of faith. Sunlight burning away the haze. So here it is, an honest history of what happened. Insofar as certain events may have followed from my decision to enroll at Franklin University, I can hardly be held responsible for that. The only guilty mind involved was Crane's. What happened to him was his own fault. But I don't need to tell you that. You'll see for yourself. Chapter 2. On the morning of my first day at Franklin University, I sat in the courtyard of the law school, my notes spread on the round, metal table in front of me, a pen in my hand, and premeditated intention in my heart. It was late August in Philadelphia, the city a swamp, the sun raging down relentlessly. Even in the shade, the heat was audacious, and I had been sweating into my jean shorts for 40 minutes. I was about to meet Professor J. Crane face to face for the first time, and I felt far from ready. There had been a time in my life when J. Crane was not at the centre of every thought, but that time felt distant now, like a half-remembered dream. He had become a waypoint that I used to direct me, Polaris in the night sky, and I had travelled thousands of miles to find him here, securing a place in his prestigious law and literature class at Franklin's Law School. All final year and master's students completing an LLM, like me, were eligible to apply, and every year, only 6 were chosen. It was a long way to come for such a niche course, but I had my reasons. A mystique hung over the class, as if secret knowledge was shared behind the closed doors of room 1.04B. And over the professor, whose ideas could be found in newspaper columns, and podcast interviews, on bookshelves, and in the law journals we studied. He had a high public profile, at least among the sort of people who pay attention to law professors. In the baking heat of the courtyard, I was using what little time I had before my first class to read, for the 4th time, the article Crane had assigned us. There were crumbs on my t-shirt, grains of sugar from the donut I had just eaten. My foot tapped against the leg of my chair, my hand scratching subconsciously at the mosquito bites along my calves. My t-shirt was the same pale pink as my skin, caused by an unintended nap in the sun the afternoon before. I was beginning to think I might be allergic to the weather here. Hot girl summer, not an Irish phenomenon. Right from the beginning, I would need to impress Crane. I had to catch his eye, just as Audrey had done that term at Trinity. My purpose here depended on it. I needed Crane to notice me, but I had never possessed the conventional, easy attractiveness of my sister. We looked nothing alike, a difference so notable that people felt free to comment on it. My sister and I were direct physical opposites in most respects, as if our genes had been selected to produce the starkest contrast. My face was long, eyes deep-set, hair dark, thick, and unruly. Audrey's face was round, eyes bright and blue, hair blonde and sleek. Even when we were young, too young, men would notice her. She would point them out to me when she caught them looking, and I would meander their way to accidentally step on their feet, or spill a drink on their laps, or, on one particularly egregious occasion, run a key along the paintwork of his car. But it wasn't just the bare physicality that made us so different. There were other qualities Audrey possessed that set us apart. She had an openness, a way of smiling out at the world, that I lacked.